talk more about the cases where you went after police officers, and also on the other end of the spectrum about how you helped free an innocent man?
Yeah, our Innocence Commission, definitely something I'm super proud of. I'll come to that. Thanks for flagging. The first case we filed against a San Francisco Police Department officer was an officer by the name of Samayoa who shot and killed an unarmed black man named Keita O'Neill. And Keita O'Neill was being pursued by police on suspicion of stealing a car, carjacking. He was fleeing and had crashed his car and abandoned it and was running on foot. And he was running because he was in a dead end. He was running back towards where a whole line of police cars had followed him and had pulled up right behind him. He had nowhere to go. There was a whole line of police cars. And as he ran by the first car, the lead pursuit car that had already come to a stop, this officer, only a few days out of the academy, pulled his gun and, in violation of clear department protocol, shot his gun through the car window. As Mr. O'Neill ran by the car, one bullet through his neck and into his head killed him. Mr. O'Neill was unarmed. He was not in a position to escape. Nobody was nobody was at risk of getting hurt in that situation. The officer was behind a closed, locked door with a window up and shot through the window. It was such a clear violation of office protocol that he was actually fired by the department. And yet it took 3+ years from the time that happened to the time I got into office and hired a team of folks who took seriously the duty to hold police accountable and to enforce laws equally before that case was filed. Our Innocence Commission was a creation of my administration, and it comes from a recognition that district attorney's offices have to do justice going forward, not just going forward, but also looking backwards. If we recognize and if we accept that the way things were done 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, don't live up to our standards, whether in terms of what the sentencing norms are, what the laws are, but also our understanding of forensic science, of things like the junk science that go into bite mark forensics, or the ways in which cross-racial identification can lead to misidentification of people. All of those emerging areas of science and changing areas of law need to be applied retroactively. If you recognize that there's a possibility that there's somebody sitting in state prison who is innocent, who was convicted of a crime they didn't commit, then prosecutors have an obligation both to do justice and also to ensure that the public has trust in the integrity of the justice system going forward. So we created an independent Innocence Commission. It was chaired by a law school professor in San Francisco. It had a array of experts, forensic psychologists, expert, defense lawyers, retired judges who volunteered to serve on the commission. And when there was a credible claim of innocence, rather than having folks in my office review that case, because of all the inherent conflicts of interest that come up when you're reviewing a case that maybe your manager or predecessor in the office tried or litigated, we had this outside expert commission, and they reported directly to me, and they found a case where someone had been in prison for more than 30 years for a murder that, based on follow-up research and additional evidence, it became pretty clear he did not commit. Once they presented me with their findings, I went to the court, told the court we believe this man was innocent and should be released, and he was in fact released.